You crazy bastards. We got some weekend juice on lock, ready to rock, and these trolls can suck my cock. We got some Jack. So I'm about to talk about politics, and certain politics may offend certain people. So it involves Trump and a bill he signed only recognizing two genders. And I'm going to be nice about it, but I'm also going to be fair and just straight up tell it like it is. If you don't want to listen to Cobra bitch about politics, then there's the back button. Click it. Okay, so Trump signed a bill. Pour myself a drink combo. We got some Baja Blast and some Jack Daniels. Trump signed a bill that said that there are only two genders, and I want to call them the rainbow community, because if you call them the gay community, it's like, well, in my opinion, they're more than just gays. You have a spectrum of different individuals. So I will call them the rainbow community, because it's not just gays, there's also bisexuals, trans, non-binary, asexual, intersex, etc., etc. And they're constantly changing their acronym. They can't agree on what they want their acronym to be called. And yeah, it's supposed to be about acceptance and inclusivity. We'll get into that here in a second. Let me just sip my asshole juice for the weekend. It's basic biology, people. And Trump signing that bill doesn't personally affect you. Like, both sides are being stupid about it, in my opinion. Like, the radical left and the radical rainbow mob on the radical left, because you got everyone else right here in the rainbow community, and then you got the radicalized version of it over here. And these radical assholes make it hard for the people in the community in general to get acceptance. Plus, the fucking media we live in, depending on what outlet you watch, likes to focus on all the negative crap that makes LGB look bad, and that doesn't help the situation either. And here's the thing of it. It's a stupid bill because it doesn't really do anything, in my personal opinion. And it's like, well, if you still want to believe that there were 10 billion genders out there, but gender doesn't exist, it's a social concept, but you better respect my gender pronouns, nobody's going to take you seriously. You can't have it both ways. And if your genitalia does not define your gender, why get the trans realignment surgery in the first place? Because I hear a lot of people screaming about how, like, gender doesn't define your sexuality or your genitalia, blah, blah, blah. But the second Trump signs a bill saying that there are only two genders, people are rightfully so, I guess, offended, because they feel like their gay rights are being violated. And, like, here's the thing of it. It's not gay rights. It's rainbow rights. Get it right. Because that community is more than just gay people. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you think you have it oppressed? Try being gay in the Middle East under Sharia law with the Muslims, where if you come out as gay and you don't confine or comply with Sharia law, they chop your fucking head off. Literally. And you want to complain because Trump's president. Wham! Wham! It's like, calm the fuck down. Trump was the first president to host a gay wedding, and the Rainbow Crew still hates his fucking guts. Keep in mind, it's all about inclusivity and acceptance. But you look at the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light scandal, the only person it included was her scrawny chicken hawk flat-chested trans ass. Everyone else excluded. There could have been a way like Bud Light would have filmed the Dylan Mulvaney commercial. Like if they would have been like, we're gonna film it. Okay, it's a football game, and the home team just scored a touchdown and won the game, and everyone's going nuts and passing out and drinking Bud Light kind of thing. And you see Dylan Mulvaney hanging out with everyone else, and they accept her for being trans, and she accepts them for not being trans, and that's what acceptance should look like. Not, well, we're going to exclude the rest of you because you're not trans, but she will get all this inclusive shit because she's a snowflake. Fuck you. That's so fucking hypocritical to sit there and say it's all about including, it's all about exclusivity when it's a member of the rainbow community, but everyone else can fuck off. It's all about acceptance. And it's like, you know what? I accept the fact that there are going to be members who think a certain way. Members of life, if you want to call it that. But you need to accept that not everyone's going to agree with your lifestyle. And that's all right. Their opinion may be wrong, but that doesn't make it right. And if you're so secure with your sexuality and your pronouns and what have you, don't let the assholes get to you. Just be you and fuck what the world has to say about it. The second you stop giving a shit about what the world thinks about you. As long as you're a decent person, who gives a fuck? Straight up. I get so much crap for being King Cobra JFS. People make fun of me for being me, and they assume my pronouns all the time, but no one cares about my pronouns because I'm a hetero cis normative white male. And the same side that screams about inclusivity and equality and acceptance, it's like there were some people in that group who are so full of fucking hatred that they will hate you for being straight and cisgendered, while screaming how they're sick and tired of everyone else hating them because they're gay or trans or what have you. That's called hypocrisy, and that's the radical hypocrisy of the radicalized, the radical members, the extremists of the rainbow mob, the ones that make everyone else look bad in that group. And quite frankly, it's disgusting in my opinion. You want acceptance, and you gotta accept everyone else for who they are. It's just how it is. Like, as long as you're not a fucking sicko, who gives a fuck? That's all I'm saying. And like, realistically, the government cannot control your thoughts yet. So if you still want to believe what you want to believe about your gender policies, screaming on TikTok while shaving your head isn't gonna fucking make anyone convinced. They're gonna look at you like, someone's having a mental breakdown, folks. Yikes. Watching the radical left break down over this shit is hilarious. When you got protesters who are protesting because Trump signed a bill, our president, Donald J. Trump, signed a bill recognizing only two genders, and they're screaming about how their gay rights are being taken away. And I'm like, again, it's not your gay rights. It's if you want to be technical about it, it's the rights of your rainbow rights. Because there are plenty of gay people who aren't trans. You know that negative stereotype that, oh, you're gay, you must be trans too. Well, and not all of them are like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's true for the extremist part of it too, man. And two, he's not taking away your fucking rights. Just because the government says there are only two genders doesn't mean you now have to comply. And oh my God, if you're stupid enough to think that there were 10 billion genders, but gender doesn't exist, it's a social concept. But you must respect my gender pronouns. And I'm like, well, if gender doesn't exist, then your pronouns are kind of bullshit. And if it's a social concept, well, what if socially I don't accept your opinion? Because you don't have to accept mine. It's like, well, okay, certain groups, certain minorities were treated like shit. So now everyone else outside of those groups is not allowed to have an opinion or think for themselves. And because I'm white, straight, cisgendered, and male, I get treated like I'm either a racist, a sexist, a homophobic, or a transphobic. And again, that's just the extremes. LGBTQIAA, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, plus extremist politics pisses me off. Because I happen to know a lot of good people who are a part of that community, and they don't need any more negative representation. I mean, am I wrong in saying that? You want to protest fucking Trump signing some stupid fucking bill that has literally no effect on anyone. Like, how about protesting all the LGBs who are getting their heads chopped off because they live in a Muslim-infested Middle East? And it's like, you know what kills me about that, YouTube? The Muslims hate the gay community. But you see the way they treat their women, and it's like, I'll just let you do the math on that. It's supposed to be a religion about peace, according to what some Muslims say, but it's like, you treat women like shit and you hate on the gay community. And if anyone, God forbid, depicts Allah, you lose your shit. I'm like, well, I don't care if you're fucking Muslim, that's your choice. You know? Because I know Muslims have a lot of negative stereotypes. And to be fair, YouTube, that's very much true of the gay community as well. As a Satanist, simplest way of putting it, there's a lot of negative stereotypes associated with Satanism. And a lot of my friends, some of my friends are Christian, and some of my family members go to church as well. And you know what the amazing thing about it is? Even though I have family and friends who go to church, they don't judge me, I don't judge them. We can coexist in peace and harmony and not make it about stupid shit like your race, your gender, your sexuality, your creed, your whatever. You know, it's just stupid petty shit that they use. That's how they use this crap to divide us. And not every Trump supporter is a radical white asshole. I get so sick and tired of that fucking stereotype. Pisses me off. You know, fuck the KKK. Yeah, I said it. Fuck the KKK. They're a bunch of fucking pansies, dude. You get so sick and tired of people hating on you because you're white, but you're allowed to hate them back? No, screw that. We gotta end the hate, man. And that's the problem with our society. There's too much hate in our society. I don't care what your political opinion is. Trump gets so much fucking hatred. And when you point out all the crooked, disgusting shit the radical left does, what do? The radical left? It's all fake news. They pull a Trump and call it fake news. And I'm like, well, the fact that you're going to let your political opinion divide us as a nation, Half the fucking country can't stand Trump. Half the country's going, yeah, make America great again. Although if I was president, my slogan would be make America greater. Because as far as I'm concerned, America's the greatest country on the fucking planet. And I'll just leave it at that. You want to protest fucking Trump signing a bill that only recognizes two genders and scream that your gay rights are being violated? No one's violating your gay rights in America. Calm the fuck down. And I know for a fact Trump's probably got a couple more bills in the fucking chamber, you know, that are going to really piss off the rainbow community. And I'm not saying you can't be trans, but hear me out. If kids are not old enough to have sex, then they're not old enough to change their sex. Fuck pedophiles, too, for that matter. Think back to when you were a kid. You didn't know what you wanted to do with your life. You basically existed in the world around you. Before you call me transphobic, if I was transphobic, I wouldn't have a trans friend who goes by Sasha now. I wouldn't be subscribed to Blair White if I was transphobic. Blair White just doesn't, not my cup of tea, man. And Jessica's gonna say all these fucking lies about me because she's so bitter about the breakup. And it's fucking sad. Jessica Boyle's a fucking cunt, but that's beside the point. Crazy, unattractive, nasty twat. And I don't gotta spread lies about Jessica Boyle to get inside her fucking head. I'm already fucking there. Nobody believes her bullshit. The only people who are dumb enough to believe the lies Jessica Boyle spreads are stupider than I am for dating her. I digress. I'd set aside my differences with Jessica Boyle if it made the world just a little bit nicer. But that bitch is mentally unhinged and fucking needs mental help. Her and my trolls both. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. But circling back to the topic, you can't let chicks like Jessica ruin your view of chicks who want to date me. Or you can't let the fucking extremist assholes ruin it for your opinion of LGB. Because that's the thing of it. Homophobes and transphobes and what have you are sexually repressed. They're either secretly gay or trans themselves, or they're not getting their dick sucked by their wife. So when they see two gay dudes going at it, it makes them mad. It's what it is. If I watch lesbian porn, then fucking I'm not gonna hate on gays. That's all I'm saying. Like, it doesn't personally affect Trump or the nation we live in. If some rainbow nut job thinks there are 10 billion genders, but they don't exist, and that you have to respect their gender pronouns, it's like, wait a minute. These are talking points I've heard from the extremists of the LGBT plus community, that gender doesn't exist, but you have to respect my gender pronouns. I'm like, well, that's the thing of it. Like I said, if gender doesn't exist, then your pronouns are bullshit. Like, what if I identified as God, supreme ruler of the universe, and I'm the only one allowed to have those pronouns, and everyone else's pronouns are bullshit. You would think, Cobra, fuck your pronouns, you're an asshole, you're taking the piss out of us. How does that exist? And then if I got offended as soon as you asked questions, nobody would take my pronouns seriously. But I happen to think that pronoun culture is fucking stupid. But as long as you're not hurting anyone, have fun with it. That's just my opinion. Like, I think pronouns are fucking stupid, but as long as you're not a fucking sicko and you're not hurting anyone, do it up.